Most entrepreneurs are playing the content game completely wrong, and they think that more posts equals more profit, but that's actually the fastest way to burn out and get ignored. I'm going to share with you a private training where I'm going to completely reverse that strategy and show you how to actually win the game. I'm going to teach you my Netflix formula for storytelling that makes your content addictive so that people binge your brand like it's their favorite series. I'm going to teach you the exact AI prompts I use to instantly generate scroll-stopping hooks so you don't have that blank page syndrome ever again. I'll tell you why posting more content is actually killing your reach and the counterintuitive daily routine that multiplies leads with less, and how to turn simple DMs into paying clients without being spammy or weird, as well as the funnel framework that's quietly converted for me for years that's running in the background while I build my business. This is normally locked up for my private clients, but you are getting the full replay right now. Grab a notebook. These strategies are going to change how you create content forever. Well, guys, this training is called Making Repeatable Content That Doesn't Sound Like AI. So when I say repeatable, I mean like that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every week, but also not robotic. Like, we don't want this to be soulless. We don't want this to be predictable in a way that people don't need to see it because they already know what it's going to say, right? And I'm going to show you how to use AI as your sidekick, not your ghostwriter. There's a difference. So that you end up with content that is disruptive and polarizing and impossible to scroll past. Here's the double-edged sword that we are dealing with. AI makes it easier than ever to crank out content. Like, you can just wake up, type a few prompts, and then boom, you've got a week's worth of posts or captions or emails. But it also makes it easier than ever to be ignored. Because if everyone's using the same tools and the same prompts and the same safe little templates, then guess what? We all start sounding the same. And when we all start sounding the same, what happens? We disappear. Let me ask you this. Have you ever scrolled past a post before and thought, oh, that is definitely AI? Like, that didn't even sound like a human wrote it. We are drowning in what I like to call beige robot content. Like, who wakes up in the morning thinking, you know what this world needs? Another beige post. Nobody says that. Beige is the color of rental carpets. Beige is like the font choice for people who still use Comic Sans. Beige is what you pick when you're afraid of being wrong, so you end up being invisible. Ooh, we're not here to be beige robots, am I right? Okay, so the opportunity isn't just to use AI. The opportunity is to stand out in spite of it, to make content that feels alive and human and unpredictable. Unpredictability is your best friend. This is the kind of content that people can't ignore. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Marley. Hello, nice to meet you. I built my business to multi-seven figures in just 3 years, but I didn't exactly take the straight path to get there. I actually started as a dental hygienist, which is honestly the opposite of what I do now. Like, I went from telling people to floss more to telling entrepreneurs to post more. Big glow up, right? After that, I worked in entertainment and radio. Yes, I was even a paparazzi assistant at one point, which basically meant chasing celebrities around with cameras. So let's just say I know a thing or two about what grabs attention. Fast forward to today, I am a YouTuber, entrepreneur. I have over 175,000 subscribers on YouTube, where I believe you're watching this right now. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Would love to continue serving you with more content I put out every week. And I am also a mom. And apparently I've now become your anti-beige tour guide through the AI jungle. So I also wanted to share something a little more personal with you guys. Steve and I recently got married, and I know some of you guys were following for that journey online. So thank you for that, because not only did we get married, but our wedding went viral, like international media attention, headlines, TV interviews. We were in People magazine, New York Post, NBC, CBS morning shows. We got a call from CNN, the morning show in Australia, radio in Italy and Dubai, and print magazines and tabloids in the UK, also out of the mouths of famous talk show hosts and many more. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is because a lot of that buzz wasn't just because of the wedding itself, it was because of the content strategy behind it. This is the same kind of repeatable, disruptive, non-obvious content that I'm about to show you how to create, and I absolutely used AI in that process. In fact, I'm going to give you the one prompt that I credit all of that success to. I can't get ahead of myself, but it is so insane. I almost didn't want to share it with you because it has been my secret sauce, okay? This AI prompt helped me to brainstorm hooks and draft press releases and play with different story angles so that I could create content that cuts through the noise and really made people pay attention. So when I tell you this stuff works, I don't just mean in theory, I mean it works in real life. And sometimes, as you can see on the world stage, we're in a crisis, you guys. On one hand, AI has made it ridiculously easy to create content. Like you can type in a prompt, you can sip your coffee, and boom, you've got a blog, you've got a caption, you've even got a video script in minutes. But on the other hand, that is also exactly the problem because now everybody's doing it. And when everybody's doing it the same way, nobody stands out. That is the crisis. We are drowning in content that looks good on the surface, but has zero pulse underneath. So the opportunity and what I'm going to show you today is how to flip that. All right, AI has turned the internet into Times Square at midnight, but it's also loud and crowded and totally forgettable. You know what I mean? Like Times Square is amazing. I'm not knocking that at all, but there are flashing billboards everywhere. People that are shoving flyers in your hand, somebody in a Spider-Man costume yelling at you for a selfie, and in the middle of all that chaos, you can't even remember a single thing that you saw 10 minutes later. That is the internet right now. That is what AI has done. There is content everywhere, but nothing sticking. So here's the deal. The ones who will stand out are the ones who upgrade their mindset and sharpen their edge. Boom, baby. So here's my role for today. I've got 2 jobs. Step 1 is my first job is to cut through the hype and give you the real AI foundation. Step 2 is shifting how you think about AI. Because too many people treat AI like a toy, like something that they play with when they're bored or a shortcut so they don't have to think. That's not how we're rolling here, okay? I want you to think about AI like it is a weapon. This is a tool in your arsenal that you will wield strategically to win. Okay, so because the danger with all this is AI, because it's so vast, because everyone can use it, is it makes creating content so easy that it tempts you to get lazy. It tempts you to pump out safe, generic, beige posts just so you can check the box. But safe is the new risky. Predictable is forgettable. And fitting in is failing. So as I said, my job today is to show you exactly how to take AI, this incredible tool that everybody has access to, and use it in a way that no one else can copy because they don't have your voice or your story or your edge. Sound good? And once you learn how to do this, it becomes repeatable. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every week. You have a system for turning one disruptive idea into a flywheel of content that stands out every single time. Since this whole thing is about not sounding like AI, we first have to expose how you can tell when something is AI. So let's play a game. I like to call this AI expose. Ooh. I'm gonna reveal the biggest giveaways that instantly make people think, yep, a robot wrote this, okay? Because we wanna find out what makes things sound AI so that the rest of this training, we can keep that in mind to only write things that do and work with AI in a way that does not make it sound like AI. AI expose number 1 is the over dramatic M dash. You know what I'm talking about? Those posts that are like, everything, yes, everything is suddenly a dramatic pause. Like this. It's like the robot thinks it's a poet. Or it ends up sounding like, who's that actor? William Shatner, but like having a meltdown. This is probably the biggest tell that it was written by AI. And it's really unfortunate because the M dash has a good purpose. And I know people are like, I've been using the M dash before. AI ruined it for people. All right, next one. You ready for it? Emoji soup. This is another dead giveaway. So you've seen these posts, right, where it's like, grow your biz, rocket emoji. Find freedom, confetti emoji. Make money, money emoji. Love yourself, heart emoji. Change the world, world emoji. It's like the robot found the emoji keyboard and just like went full slot machine. All right, AI tell number 3 is the unlock or unleash syndrome. So you know those posts that are like, unlock your full potential. Unleash the power within. Unlock the secrets of success. Unleash the hidden leader inside of you. Like, what are we, treasure chests? Zoo animals? No one talks like that in real life other than Tony Robbins, okay? Tony Robbins first had the unleash the power within Russell Brunson, unlock the secrets kind of thing. But like when it gets so overused with AI, you're just like, oh, if it feels like AI, it feels predictable. So they don't want to read it. Okay, AI tell number 4. It's not this, it's this. Have you seen this one everywhere? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Guys, this has been done to death. At this point, it's less inspirational and more like a bad motivational poster in a dentist's office. So here's the fix, is that you don't need to set it up like a riddle. Just say it with power. So instead of this like, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Just say, work smart or stay stuck. Okay, and this is why we have to be aware of it, because it's so easy to just edit what AI has given us to humanize it. All right, AI tell number 5 is what I like to call buzzword bingo. This is one of my favorites to roast. You know, the ones that are like synergy, optimize, leverage, transformative solutions, paradigm shift. It's like someone just copied and pasted a corporate pitch deck straight into LinkedIn. Beige robot energy all over it. Okay, and you want to know what the fix is? Is that you just stop hiding behind jargon. Say what you actually mean, like a real human. So instead of saying something like, optimize your workflows, say something like, get your time back. Or instead of saying something like, leverage your assets, you can say, use what you already got. Okay, so buzzwords, they're almost like blur words now. They blur you into the crowd. But the clarity and the humanization is what makes you stand out, okay? With all this, I need you to hear this. AI itself isn't the enemy. AI is an incredible starter. It's like clay. Okay, if you publish the raw clay without shaping it, it just looks like a lump. I think that's a really good way of describing that. I'm probably going to use that again later. So I'm going to take a bland, beige, AI hook, just a statement, and in under 60 seconds, show you how to turn it into something disruptive, scroll stopping, and actually human. Watch this, okay? Here are 5 tips to lose weight. Why is that beige? It's predictable, right? People have seen this headline so many times, it just blends into the noise. It's generic. So like, yeah, whatever, 5 tips, like you assume what the advice is going to be. If this is really important, I wish I would have made a whole slide on this, but like when your audience is seeing something, or when you see something, if you see a piece of content, I want you to observe for yourself, because to be a good content creator, you have to be a good content consumer, meaning you're observing the patterns, you're observing your own feelings so that you can create content in a way that you know that you would enjoy. If you don't enjoy your own content, why would anyone else? Like, I hope that with practice, you put out content that you're like, that was a banger. Like, I would love that. Like me 3 months ago, or me even now. Like, I love what I just wrote. I love what just came out there. I want you to have that kind of feeling behind it. I was going to say, ask yourself, does this create assumptions or question marks? So let's play that out. Here are 5 tips to lose weight. Am I like, question mark, question mark, question mark, tell me, I need to know. Oh my gosh, where am I ever going to get this information from if I don't click on this video? Or do I have so many assumptions? Okay, 5 tips to lose weight. I've heard this before. It's probably going to say eat less, exercise more, track your calories, drink more water, right? I have more assumptions than I have question marks. Therefore, I have no reason to click. Okay, that's like probably one of the easiest frameworks that you can keep in mind when you're creating content, is to just ask yourself, what is the ratio of assumptions to question marks here? And we want to have more question marks than assumptions. And like a total win if you have no assumptions. You're like, whoa, what could this possibly be? Tell me more. Okay. The other thing about this one is it lacks specificity. There's nothing new about this. Your brain, like I said, just assumes, okay, eat less, move more. Yeah. There's very low emotional pull to this. It doesn't challenge beliefs or spark any strong reaction that makes you click. So that's why it just dies in the feed. So what do we do instead? I am so glad you asked. Here is where we introduce the RARE framework. We love the word rare. We have a podcast called Rare Things because we, as entrepreneurs, we live a rare life. We do things that are rare. We have rare perspectives that create an extraordinary life. So a lot of the stuff that we create, I'm always thinking about how do we do this in a way that is rare, that is uncommon, that because of that is going to go further then what did I say? Then the beige, okay? So this is the rare framework. So to create rare content, it needs to reveal truths, especially the polarizing beliefs that most people won't say. It needs to activate emotions, and people need to feel seen or validated or even called out. You ever see a post that you're like, oh, it's like they were reading my diary? or people, I even see people in the comments, I feel so seen, okay? It needs to refine the narrative. So take a non-obvious, contrarian angle that reframes the topic. Non-obvious is one of my favorite words to use with ChatGPT when I'm giving it prompts. I'll say, please write this in a way that is non-obvious. Non-obvious meaning not just regurgitating what other people are saying and not writing what people would assume is the answer. Feel free to write that one down because I like non-obvious. Write that on a sticky note. Use it with AI a lot. And then lastly, it needs to engage deeply. If you just have content that is just like a billboard, but not actually something that people can respond to, do you think it's going to go very far? People need to have a place where they can take action or get into conversation or at least click through to learn more. So this is how you take a beige idea and flip it into something that stands out so that people really, they can't ignore it. Let me show you how you would apply this. Okay, so beige, as we said, looks like this. Here are 5 tips to lose weight. Assumptions, whatever, I don't need to click. Boring, predictable, everyone scrolls past. Okay, are you guys down to make it disruptive? Can we make it disruptive? Here's the option. Stop doing cardio if you actually want to lose fat. Okay, we took it up a notch, didn't we? That's a little better. Okay, because why? It's unexpected. It challenges a belief. It sparks curiosity. Okay, the slides here are saying, it confirms a deep down desire. They don't want to do cardio. Most people don't. It challenges the assumptions. It's specific. It grabs attention. It promises a benefit. But we can take it a little further. And this is where I turned the rare framework into a prompt that I put into ChatGPT, which I'm going to give to you momentarily. I know people are like, yeah, give me the prompts. Do you guys have like an inventory of prompts you're just like keeping over time? It's so awesome. So I put this into ChatGPT and here's what come out. Tell me if you like this one. The 10-minute fat loss hack that works while you sleep and it's not cardio. Ooh, can I get an ooh-ah in the chat? Okay, do you see the difference? It's specific. It feels exclusive. It promises a real benefit while also calling out the pain point. Like that's the kind of headline that makes people have to click. Now I got a big disclaimer here because this comes up when I share this sometimes. Sometimes people look at this going, what? That headline can't be real. And that feeling is the point. That feels like Inception right there. Okay. That little jolt of wait, what? That is what makes someone click. Because if it feels too obvious, they scroll. If it feels a little believable, but tell me more, they have to lean in because they need to know more. Now, big asterisk, big disclaimer, it has to be ethical. It has to be FTC compliant and something you can actually deliver on, okay? Don't just come up with a sexy headline and bait and switch them, okay? Clickbait has a bad rap, like when you hear the word clickbait, because people see clickbait and think that it's bait and switch. Clickbait is just, I got you to click. On the back end is where we actually have to be ethical and good people and deliver. Which, in this case, this one is actually a client of mine who used this and crushed it. And do you want to know what their thing was? I hope when you see this, you're like, oh, well, cool, sign me up, because that's how I felt, okay? So what this 10-minute fat loss hack is a 10-minute evening strength circuit. And what it does is it elevates your metabolism so your body continues burning fat while you sleep. Did anyone go, oh, okay, I could get into that? Because for me, I'm like, 10-minute, like only a 10-minute exercise, and then you do it in the evening so that you still have your metabolism going. That makes sense. That sounds easy. And that easy button, and I say in quotes because of course like you have to implement to be able to see results, is what will make people click and then also follow through. Cool, real, practical. But what's so cool is the way that headline is framed is it's in a way that feels intriguing and I would say impossible to ignore. Okay, so the lesson in this is the hook doesn't have to be fake to feel disruptive, but we want it to frame the truth in a way that sparks curiosity and pulls people in. So beige framing will get you ignored. Okay, hashtag no beige. Disruptive framing will get you noticed, but rare framing gets you clicked, shared, and bought into. That is the power of this framework. Here is the exact prompt I dropped into ChatGPT. You can take a screenshot of that. So I literally just typed this word for word, and that's how I got the 10-minute fat loss hack that works while you sleep and it's not cardio. So now you can take any idea, even if you feel like it's boring. It's probably not. It just needs a reframe. You can plug it into this prompt and instantly rarefy it. So here's some other ones. So I did one for fitness, okay? The 10-minute hack that burns fat while you sleep without giving up pizza. So that was just kind of an alternative to that one. So here, the reason why it works is, again, it's specific, it's intriguing, it removes a pain point of like, I don't want to do cardio and I also don't want to give up pizza. So tell me what you got. Click, click. Next one, productivity. So the 3-step morning routine that doubles your productivity without waking up at 5 a.m. Ooh, I want to be more productive, but I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. So tell me more. Okay, it challenges the common belief that I thought that if I was going to be productive, I had to wake up earlier. And then the big benefit is like double productivity. Heck yeah. The next one for business, the 5-minute trick. Well, that sounds easy. That adds $10,000 to your revenue without spending a dime on ads. Tell me more. That's a pretty bold promise, right? And it removes the common objection of, I don't want to pay for ads. Pretty good. And then the last one here, the 7-day plan to clear your skin without spending hundreds on products. Okay, fast timeline, tangible benefit, eliminates the pain point of wasted money. Okay, so do you see the pattern that no matter what niche you're in, rare content has this, again, going through the rare formula, polarizing truth, activates emotions, refines the angle, and engages deeply. And please notice that I didn't have to reinvent the wheel for each of these. I just looked, I used the exact same rare ChatGPT prompt we just looked at. So that means that you can take any topic, again, even if you think it's boring, run it in through your niche, run it through this framework, and instantly turn beige into a headline that you can use as a sales page headline, or maybe you use it as the title of a YouTube video or the first line in a video. Okay, I have some niches here. So I am going to click out of here. Okay, so first I'm going to copy this because we're going to use that. Let me go over to ChatGPT. Here we go. Let me start with, let me see how many I can get through. So that's the headline. So use that framework. And here's another hack that I absolutely love. When I work with AI, I often talk to it instead of type. And the reason why is because obviously I can talk a lot, and I can talk faster than my fingers can keep up with my brain trying to get it from my brain through to the keyboard. So you can also do this from your phone. The phone has an AI recorder. And hey, I know that people are like, why don't you do this dictate button? You can. You see that little button my cursor's hovering over? For some reason, there have been multiple times where it has not dictated. And like when you're on a roll and you're talking, and if it didn't record properly and actually transcribe, I'm like, oh, I just lost. I have to say it all over again. So as much as I love ChatGPT, I don't always trust this one. So I have a Google Chrome extension called Voice in Speech to Text Dictation. So that's the one that I use, but use whatever works for you. Maybe this dictate one works for you. So let's do we have one for travel design. Let's do that for Ernie. Okay. Hey, I am a travel design consultant. Oh no, why isn't it working? It might be because my audio is going through here. I'll type it. I'm a travel design consultant and want to help busy entrepreneurs have their dream vacations. Can you help me write a strong headline using this formula? Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Now, I always use the sound effect anytime I hit enter because you got to say this to ChatGPT. You got to go. Okay, let's see what it came up with. The 7-day getaway plan that feels like a month-long vacation. Oh my gosh, tell me more. Without spending hours researching. Hello, Ernie, what do we think about this? The concierge designed itinerary that gives you first-class adventures without wasting precious. I'm having a visceral reaction to this, you guys. Wow, without wasting precious work time. Like, this is speaking to the entrepreneur. The done-for-you dream trip. Oh my gosh, I can't even get through the full sentence. That doubles your relaxation without the stress of planning. Hello. The 48-hour booking experience that unlocks bucket list luxury without endless price shopping. I'm salivating here, you guys. The custom travel blueprint that actually helps you disconnect without missing a beat in business. The entrepreneur's escape plan that turns vacation into growth fuel without guilt or overwhelm. Take my money. Hello. So what would I do with this now? I would probably use all of these. I might make this into a video sales letter. I might make this into a webinar. I might make this into a YouTube video. I might make this into an email. I might make this into the list goes on. You should have a Google Doc that's basically like your vault, your inventory of all of your best headlines. Because guess what? You can reuse them. That's the best. Okay, here's the headline. Now we're going to say, I am in real estate sales and help. You were saying you help with listing homes. Help me write a hook to attract more buyers. Let's see what it comes up with. And here's sometimes people ask me what's the prompt? How do you get it to say those things? Sure, sometimes I'll give it an example of a headline or a hook that I like, but a lot of times I'm just telling it exactly what I need. I'm like, well, I'm in real estate sales and I want someone to see this and be on the edge of their seat and want to buy from me. So let's see. The 7-day home search plan that finds your dream home without wasting every weekend at open houses. Ooh, I like that. The listing alert system that gets you into homes before anyone else without spending hours on Zillow. Awesome. The streamlined buying process that lands you the right house without bidding wars or overpaying. I love it. Okay, let's get back to our training. Hooks are only the first piece, because once you grab attention, what happens next? That is where your story comes in. The problem is, if you tell your story in the beige AI way, it comes out flat, and it might be informative. But if it's flat informative, that is forgettable. But when you have the right prompt and the right voice, which should be your voice, you can turn everyday content into cliffhanger, binge-worthy content. And who knows binge-worthy content better than Netflix? Oh, here was some of the other ones I was going to go through. We'll just go through Netflix. All right. So I have a Netflix storytelling prompt for you. And guys, I almost didn't want to share this with you because this has been my secret sauce. Oh, God, it is so good. I'm not going to hold anything back from you. I have got to share this with you. It takes any story and turns it into a post that feels like an episode. That each line that you're reading pulls you into the next line. That you're like, I have to tell me more. And it just, the coolest feedback I've gotten when people read my posts that I do in the Netflix formula is I get so many comments of people saying, you're such a good storyteller. And I was on the edge of my seat and I read the whole thing, which is the best feedback that you could get from someone, right? So cool. So I'm going to share that with you. But first, let me show you how successful this has been for me in real life, because I have been using this Netflix storytelling prompt for everything. The random, seemingly small, everyday stuff. Here's this one, my daughter, she was hugging my pillow. And while she's hugging my pillow, she asked, is this what Canada smells like? Because I'm from Canada. It was just such a sweet, hilarious moment. But I dropped that into the Netflix formula. I wrapped it around a call to action about how you can just find stories all around you to create content. And boom, massive engagement. And some of you might even be here today because of that exact post. We sold a lot of tickets to one of our events just from that one post. So funny. Or another one, this is a post from when Steven got me a kitten for Christmas. Again, it was just like a simple story, but in the Netflix style, it exploded. Or I shared our proposal story where I almost ruined my proposal by literally running away from Steven towards someone that I thought I recognized at a distance. And I just turned the voice recorder on and I told the story exactly how it happened. Just, it was messy. It was huge. And also, as I'm talking to ChatGPT and I use the voice recording, I'm not trying to be polished. I'm rambling. And then I let the prompt clean it up and turn it into these cliffhanger hooks. Isn't that cool? I brain dump and I'll talk as long or as short as I need to. And ChatGPT polishes it and turns it into these binge-worthy Netflix-style posts. And the comments are so fun. As you can see here, people are saying, I love how you tell stories. I don't tell them any differently than you could. I just tell the raw story, and then I let AI help me refine it into something that reads like a bingeable drama. Your job is just to live your life and then tell the stories that come from your life. AI's job is to make it cliffhanger worthy. This one AI prompt is what made my wedding go viral. So when Steven and I got engaged, And like any other couple, we got engaged. We started looking for venues and like figuring out, how are we going to do this wedding? What are we going to do? So here we are. We're venue hunting, and we go to this one place that's close by. We drive by it all the time. We're like, oh, let's take a look at this. It's pretty. And we get the quote for this venue. And everything looks good until I see this one line item, a $650 cake cutting fee, to which my response was, what? Here's an actual photo of what my face did when I saw that number. I was like, what do you mean $650 just to cut the cake? Not even including the cake, just to cut it? So I could have just posted that as a quick rant and then moved on. But I knew if I told it right, if I turned it into a story, people would lean in. So I put through the Netflix formula and I turned it into a bingeable post. And here's what happened. Because people could relate, my comments were flooded with people saying, laughing at it or telling their own crazy wedding expense stories or what they did. And then that moment inspired my next post, which was a joke. Actually, this isn't the right one, but I was like, hey, people should just sell tickets to their wedding. Instead of gifts, you just buy a ticket. And then if the couple can just break even on their day, or maybe they make more money to fund a honeymoon or put a down payment on their house, like, why not? And people in the comments were like, yes, you should do that. That's crazy. And it was disruptive. It was new. It was different enough to feel crazy, but relatable enough to feel possible. So what I didn't see coming was that it wasn't just me pushing the idea. My audience validated it, which is the best way to build anything. If you're building something in public and you have the audience that feels like they were along for the journey the entire way, and they're also the one giving you feedback, hey, you should do something like this. Oh, you should do something like this. What if you considered this? I would buy something if it had this in it. That's how you win. So people in the comments were saying, yes, this should be a thing. That is how disruption works. So in this case, just like Uber or just like Airbnb, it's crazy at first until the audience validates it and it becomes normal. It becomes something that people actually want. So I just kept documenting the journey Netflix style. And it wasn't even super polished or fancy or anything, but it was definitely not beige, I will tell you that. It was just me telling real stories, and I was leaving cliffhangers, and I was also giving consistent updates that pulled people back. Like Sky just said, like she kept wanting to watch them every day. And people kept coming back every single day. And that's what made the idea explode. I mean, the idea of selling tickets to your wedding, that's crazy, right? Like people's first reaction is usually, wait, what? That is the hook. That is the curiosity. That it's the tension between that is insane and this could actually make sense. Tell me more. That's what makes people click. So then each Netflix storytelling is what made them stay. Each post gave them another episode of the journey. They understood why we were doing it and how it worked and the impact that it would have. So when we opened up the tickets, people didn't feel like they were just buying into a wedding. Because they were part of the story, they felt like they were already part of it. That's how we brought 300 people from around the world to Idaho to celebrate with us. That's how we had, I don't know if you can hear.
Hey, Marley and Steve, we're just here in Kenya, and we just wanted to send you a quick message. Congratulations, Marley and Steve! Woo!
So fun. I hope you could hear the audio on that. But we had 300 people from around the world come to Idaho, of all places. There's no direct flights, very little direct flights to Boise, Idaho to celebrate with us. And we raised $132,000 for our favorite charity, Village Impact. And that money is now going towards building classrooms in Kenya, where we're going to be traveling there in 2026 to be a part of building them. Then came the media attention. So we were in People magazine, NBC, CBS, CNN, talk shows in Australia, Italy, UK, like the story was everywhere. Now I could make a whole other presentation on, and I should one day, on how the media uses hooks and how some of those hooks can completely be twisted from the narrative. Because if some of you saw the headlines, they weren't always accurate, but that's what they do to get clicks because hooks are powerful and we had no control over what was said. But today, the reason why I want you to see this is because it all started with content. Beige, forgettable storytelling doesn't build movements, but Netflix-style storytelling does. And if it can make a wedding go viral, imagine what it can do for your business. So let me show you the Netflix storytelling arc that I used when I was sharing the wedding story. And this took it from like, oh, cute, nice wedding to worldwide media coverage. So the Netflix formula is very simple. Think about any Netflix show that you watch, and you might even start to see the structure of it. It first starts with the delusion. What's the big lie you believed, or the plan that you were sure about? And so for my example, it was like, for years I thought weddings were this like private thing and that people go into debt for them, and that's just like kind of how it is. Then the disruption, the moment that it broke or that assumption failed and everything changed. So for mine, it was like, then I realized, what if the wedding could be more than a personal event, and it turns into an experiment in business and content and impact, and that people don't have to go into debt for their weddings, especially considering that financial strain is the number one cause of conflict in a marriage. What if people sold tickets to their wedding, and I could teach people how to do that? And then maybe even like inspire an entrepreneurial spark in couples, because I think couples doing business together is amazing. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but it's a great thing for people. I mean, I love working with Steven. It's like one of the best ways that we get to be on the same path, building in our values together. And the next step is the struggle. What are the failures, the doubts, the conflicts, the near quit moments that people encounter? So for mine, it was like, people thought we were crazy. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. We were criticized. We were doubted. Some even laughed at us, but could we actually pull this off? See the cliffhanger there? So crazy, it just might work. Could they do it? Then next is the revelation. What is the plot twist? What's the painful truth or the unexpected lesson? I hope you're seeing this and like starting to recognize the Netflix shows or movies that follow this, because you're just doing the exact same thing for your posts. So for ours was like, okay, what started as this like wild idea from some social media posts turned into a movement. Like, we raised 6 figures for charity. We funded schools on the other side of the world. It sparked conversations internationally. And then lastly is the transformation. I mean, when you think about every movie, the hero goes through a journey and the end of the movie is like this, like I've made it. There's this big transformation before they go into the next one. Okay. So for us, it was like, okay, we didn't just get married. We redefined what a wedding could be. And that story got picked up in media all over the world. Well, so that is the power of storytelling, that it's not beige, it's not robotic. Like, please, if anything ever feels like that, please keep iterating with ChatGPT until it feels, I keep talking about the feel, like it has to, there's a feeling to it. People don't take action until they feel something. And that needs to start with how you feel when you create that content, because it's almost contagious. Like, it's infectious. If someone reads something that you poured your heart into, or that you were laughing so hard when you were making, that is going to transfer. Sales is a transfer of belief. And so people need to feel that passion from every line, no matter what level of emotion that is coming through. Okay. So your humanity is your secret sauce. Like, AI cannot fake that. I'm going to put the Netflix formula into because I can speak it from my phone, but then I'll share my screen and show you what it looked like on the computer. Luckily, I use this prompt so much that I just have the Netflix formula prompt in my phone. So see, I'm just going to like copy and paste my prompt right there. And then I'm going to go over to ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new prompt here. Okay. So what I've done is I first pasted the prompt in there. There's my Netflix formula. And then I'm just going to start talking to it. Oh, first I'm going to say, here is my Netflix formula prompt. I'm going to now tell you a story, and I want you to write a social media post following that story and and putting it into the Netflix formula. Okay. And then you think about your story. What story can you tell? Okay. Like something that's just happened at the grocery store, or a funny conversation you had recently, or maybe an epiphany moment that you had with a client, or something that your kid said to you or your mom said to you, or something like that. Something that's coming to mind for me, we have this like funny story. I mean, funny to us, maybe not funny to other people. It wouldn't be funny to other people, but watch this. So I'm just going to talk to ChatGPT. I'm going to do the voice dictation app, or the voice dictation through the phone, and then it's going to turn it into a post. So watch this. 2 days after our wedding, Steven was walking through the house and he felt this like squish sound underneath his feet. And he kept walking around the area like, what the heck is going on? What's this? Like, why is the floor, the hard what is that called? A hardwood floor making a squish sound. And he called me over and was like, do you hear that? Sure enough, there was a leak in our house. And it was under our floorboards. It was under the house. It was under the foundation. And luckily, we have a neighbor who owns a plumbing company and came over like within minutes and to check it out. Turns out that we had this leak in our house and we weren't sure how long it was going on for, but we just had this like monumental, incredible wedding with 300 people there, viral attention. We, raised 6 figures for charity from our wedding. We were on this high, and 2 days after the wedding, oh my gosh, there's a leak in our house, and what's happening? Luckily, the experts came over really quickly, and it was funny to observe our reaction and the experts' reaction in helping us deal with the situation, because at first they were totally handling us with white, what am I trying to say? With like, see how I'm just rambling? Like, see how I'm not, I don't have this polished. I'm just telling the story as it happened. They were like handling us with like kid gloves. Like they were so cautious about upsetting us by telling us this news of, we have to tear apart your floors. We got to tear apart the wall. We're not sure if it went into the foundation. We're not sure if there's mold. We got to check things out. And it's going to take some time to like figure this out and fix it and clean it and dry everything out and repair it. And like, I even remember one of the technicians saying like cautiously, as if he's speaking to someone that he's about to give like the most horrible news, like that someone died or something. He's like, we can go at whatever speed you want. Take your time. And we were just like, no, go for it. Like tear it all up, whatever you need to do. It's fine. And he was kind of surprised by our reaction that he was like, oh, you guys are okay? We're like, yeah, I mean, what can we do about it? Have no idea how long this has been around for. Oops, we got to tear apart a piece of our house, but like, it'll get fixed. And he was saying, you have no idea how much people freak out over this. Like it absolutely ruins their day, their month, their year sometimes. He's like, I was just really surprised that you guys were just so cool about it. And Steve and I were both like, like we kind of just have that attitude that when something goes wrong, everything is figure outable. And if we freak out over things like that, we might not be going for big enough things in life. Like there's things that can show up in your life that are unexpected, but you could also just call that an adventure. So yeah, 2 days after this like pivotal moment in our life where we had this incredible experience and was surrounded by our friends and family and did so much good, to then have this in our house was like definitely a contrast in experience, but I'm just labeling it part of the adventure. And my floors are still ripped up. Steven still has an entire hole between his office and the kitchen that he can basically see straight through, where there were like 2 rooms in between. And you know what? We'll get through it. Okay. So I just rambled. Okay. So see how I have it all just typed up there. I just spoke to it. I rambled. And I already have the prompt at the top. So I said, here's my Netflix formula prompt. Please, I'm going to tell you a story. Please put this into this formula. Go. Okay, remember the sound effect? Okay, so now it's thinking about it. I love doing this even just on the go. Like I do these things called talking walks. Anyone know my talking walks? If you've consumed my content for a while, you know the talking walks. I'll just go for a walk in the morning. I'll go for a walk around my block and I'll just brain dump. I'll speak into ChatGPT and go like, okay, here's this thing that happened and whatever. And sometimes I don't even know what the story is. Sometimes I'm just rambling into my recorder, whether that's ChatGPT or Otter or just the voice recorder on your phone. And I'll just like, sometimes I won't know what the story is yet. I'll just be rambling. I'll be like, oh, what's on my schedule? There's a pretty tree. I'll talk about the weather, the news report, whatever. And then I'll find a story thread and then I'll just keep going. And then that becomes the story that is my Netflix storytelling post for the day. All right, let me see. Okay, so let me show you what this did. It already posted it into here. Can I read to you what it came up with? Okay, here it is. The other thing is, I didn't tell it, make sure that it starts with a strong hook at the beginning. I also didn't tell it a call to action to put at the end. So if I wanted to do that after, I would just keep going back and forth with it. Okay, let's see what it came up with. 2 days after our wedding, life was perfect. 300 guests, 6 figures raised for charity, viral buzz, the whole main character energy moment. By the way, ChatGPT knows my voice because I work with it so much that it knew how I speak. Like I totally talk like main character energy. But the other thing is if this wasn't the right voice, I would go back to it saying, hey, I want you to make this quirkier, or I need this to be serious. I need this to be authoritative. Write as if you are da da da. And I might even give some examples of people, like write as if you are, who's like one of my favorite authors, Stephen Pressfield. His books just happens to be right here. Write as if you're Stephen Pressfield sharing this like authority over overcoming resistance. You're like, I keep feeding it what it needs to speak like me until it does. And even then I'll still edit it. Okay. Steve and I basically felt like the finale of a Disney movie. Cue the credits, roll the inspirational soundtrack, but then squish. Yes, squish. I'm totally going to post this. I should actually post this. Here, I'm copying and pasting it in. So I'm going to put it into here. When the ChatGPT prompt comes up, it like formats it into episodes because that's what the prompt tells you to do, which I'm going to give you momentarily. Boopity boop. And I'm going to edit this for my voice. And I'm also going to edit it to remove the ChatGPT, like the M- stuff. By the way, I also need to get a picture of the floor. So please hold. It's right here. So I'm just going to grab this picture right now. This is happening in real time. All right. 2 days after our wedding, life was perfect. Boopity boop. Oh, all right. See, I'm just going to attach that right there. This is how fast it is. The other thing is I usually space things out so that it's not paragraphs. It's like easier to read. Okay. 300 gas, 630. Steve and I basically felt like the finale of a Disney movie. Cue the credits, but then squish. And I sometimes will capitalize things so that it has more emphasis. Yes. Squish. And then I wonder if I can find the like this face emoji. Steve's walking across our hardwood floor and it sounds like he's stepping on a Capri Sun. I don't love this part, so I'm just gonna go, it sounds like he's stepping on a Capri Sun. I don't really love that part. Like sometimes ChatGPT also does too many like metaphors and I'm like, I wouldn't write like that. So sometimes I just delete things and the next sentence ends up being good. So he's walking on his hardwood floor and his first thought was, why does my floor sound like Jell-O? We discovered a leak, not like a cute little faucet drip drip. This sucker is under the house, under the foundation. Oh, this is funny. Basically our home turned into a DIY water park we didn't order. The plumber showed up whispering like they're about to tell us our dog died. I don't have a dog, I have a cat, so maybe I would change that. We may need to tear apart your floors, possibly the walls, maybe the foundation. We'll go at whatever speed you're comfortable with. I swear the guy was bracing for us to faint in his arms. Look how what I just rambled turned into this like amazing story. I'm loving this. See this energy that I'm feeling in writing this? I'm like, I'm enjoying this. This is great. This is another thing ChatGPT does a lot. Here's the twist. Here's the kicker. Here's the rub. Don't do that either. Tear apart the floors, punch a hole in the wall. Let's add a skylight while you're at it. The plumbing, the amazing remediation team is blinking at us like, wait, you're not gonna scream? Cry, summon a demon. I wouldn't say that, so freak out. Apparently most people treat water damage like the end of civilization. We're just like part of the adventure. This is so good. Our bathroom floor all the way to Steve's office. A bathroom floor and 2 rooms in between all the way to Steve's office. Still looks like a renovation episode that got canceled halfway through. That's funny. Steve literally has a hole in his office wall that lets him wave at the kitchen like it's the neighbor's window. It's ridiculous. But see the humor in this? Here's what we realized. If you completely lose your cool over a busted floorboard, maybe you're not going for big enough stuff in life. Oh, I also don't like that when ChatGPT does it. The real adventures? Because you want to know the truth or whatever. I don't like the question mark sentence there. So I would just say, real adventures come with mess. It's just a statement instead of you want to know something, You see, I never said, you see, I don't like when people, it just doesn't make sense to me. It seems like pretentious, The real adventures come with mess. I also don't like when it's like 3, they come with mess. They come with chaos. It's like too dramatic. It's William Shatner again. They come with mess and chaos. Sometimes they come with your house auditioning for Finding Nemo 3. That's funny. So yeah, 2 days after our dream wedding, we got hit with a soggy plot twist. But I'm grateful, instead of the shorter sentences, not for the hole in the floor, but for the reminder that, I don't know if I'm gonna say transformation. Again, buzzword, right? We talked about this earlier. That growth, I'm gonna say growth, comes from, there we go. leaks, messes, and the moments you can't control. If you can laugh at those, you're ready for the next level. If you can laugh at those, you're ready. Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't like that one. Give me 5 alternatives for this line. That's pretty good that like I've worked with ChatGPT enough that I didn't need to edit too much, but what I'll do is if there's lines that I don't like, I'll be like, give me an alternative. Or I'll say, maybe I'll rewrite part and then I'll be like, I'll copy and paste the whole thing and I'll say, continue writing from here. And you stop freaking out over leaks. If chaos makes you chocolate, if anyone celebrate their... Maybe I'll just delete that sentence. I don't know. If you can laugh at those, you're ready for the next level. I kind of like it. And I also don't like... And honestly, I'd rather have... If you can laugh at those, you're ready for the next level. I'd rather have a broken 4 than a boring life. See how it ended with like a mic drop? That's kind of cool. Yeah. There it is. I also have... Let me see. I also had some pictures of... Man, our house was like really torn apart. Maybe I can find a picture of... We had like these fans in our house. Oh, it was crazy. This is, I don't know if you can see that it was like plastic walls over everything. I was trying to see if I can find another picture to add to it to show like just how chaotic it really was when it first happened. Because the picture also adds to it. I really want to move on. I don't want to take your time. So I'm going to post that right now. Let's come back to it later and see what kind of response we got. So that, I hope that's really helpful to see that you're basically just, feel free to take a screenshot of this. I know it's a lot of text, so like not super easy to copy and paste that, but there's going to be the AI vault content that you guys can get later. Let me just go back to my notes here. I hope you see how easy it is to make content, especially when you know the right prompts. And then you also know that you can just talk to it, like just tell it what you want it to do and work with it until it does. Cool. Some posts are just to build the relationship that you're just sharing content with people, but some of them absolutely do have CTA. So like this one, for example, this one. So this was my daughter saying, is this what Canada smells like? And when I was sharing that story, I said, can you also segue that into a call to action to teach people about like finding the stories all around you and turning those into your content, and then how to turn that content into conversions. And I have an event coming up called the Rare Brand Workshop where we're going to do that, and here's what they're going to get. So can you also add that into the end of the post? So you'll see how like this is the story and then it transitions into here's the event that we're doing. For a lot of the wedding posts, which I'll show you about more in a second, I would like give an update on every day and then be like, come get a ticket to the wedding. Come get a ticket to the wedding. Like the last several months were just a lot of that. That actually segues really well into the next section that I want to share with you, that I want you to steal, okay? I need to give this to you that you can literally steal. Please steal this, use this, because this is the easiest content strategy I have ever used. And when I use it, it has brought in, like I said, daily ticket sales, media attention, insane engagement, and the comment section like really should have, like I could just get my popcorn and just like be watching the comment section. It is so fun. And you can get a lot of consistent engagement. And I'm not putting money into ads right now. It's all just from this organic content. And the Netflix formula, like chef's kiss, is the best. And with this, you don't even need to have a launch plan or even a plan past today. Here's what you do. You ready for this? You just start documenting. So I did a content series where every day I was giving an update on the wedding. Okay, so I was like, day 5 of selling tickets to my wedding, day blah of selling tickets to my wedding, which by the way, my face is in the way. That link there is weddingfunnels.com/content-series, weddingfunnels.com/content-series. And that's just, there's no opt-in. It's just a link to all of those videos so that you can see an example of mine. What this was a behind the scenes short form docuseries. Like it was a minute every day of me just talking to the camera, giving an update written in the Netflix formula. And I just shared this in real time, one video at a time. So in some of these videos, I shared stories about the $650 cake cutting fee, or some of the DJ drama that we were dealing with, or I got quoted. I asked Benson Boone to sing at our wedding. He's the guy that sings that mystical, magical, or beautiful things that I've got. That's a really popular song. He quoted $2.5 million. So we're like, oh, okay. little out of our price range, but we'll call you. Don't call us, we'll call you. I shared basically every ticket sale update in real time. I documented every twist, and some were funny, some were fails, but really they created like this saga that people couldn't stop following because every episode led to the next one. But every episode was also standalone. Like if you started watching at day 26, you wouldn't be like, oh, I don't know what this is, so I'm not going to watch it. You'd be like, this is interesting. I'm going to keep moving forward. And I might also go back to watch the beginning of the series. Do you know what that does? That creates bingeable content. So imagine having content that people are like, I need to keep watching more. Or they find you and then they're like, I need to watch backwards and catch up with where we're at right now. Like you ever watch a good show or you're at a friend's house or something and they're watching a Netflix show, but they're on like season 2 and you're like, oh, I haven't seen this show before, but now I'm interested. And then you start watching from the beginning. Or you just pick up where they're at and you get the backstory and you keep moving on. Like that's amazing. It's so easy. It was just me talking to my camera for like a minute a day. And it was scripted with help from AI. And the audience, like, it does not need to be perfect. People just want to be a part of watching the process unfold. And that's why this blew up, okay? And you can do this with anything. So maybe you make a series of something that you are building or working towards, or that you want to show your audience part of this journey. So it could be like day 1 of writing my best-selling book, day 4 of quitting my 9-to-5, day 7 of building my dream business from scratch. Are you guys seeing this? Like, can you guys put in the chat, what would your content series be about if you were going to do something like this? What's really cool about this is you're also like, it's almost like you're calling your shot too, that people can come along for the ride. The first time I did this was I actually made one that was like my journey of growing to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I shared that, which is what gave me the idea of like, oh, I could do that for the wedding now too. Okay. Day 12 of pitching myself to podcasts, day 18 of becoming the healthiest I've ever been, day 23 of going full-time as a creator, day 30 of building my first digital product. People just want to feel like they are part of something that's happening right now. And so for me, the wedding series was like a case study. Like we were showing people in real time, here's what we're doing. And you don't have to go into debt for your wedding. Or if you're a business, here's something that you can do with this industry. What was cool is it built such a community around people that watched it, which is what I think also led to such a successful event and helped us to raise 6 figures for charity. Like absolutely amazing. So guys, please use this. Please steal this. Share it with me when you do, because I want to see these videos. I want to cheer you on. Like I would watch these series. There are people that I watch that I'm like, every time they post, I want to see what they're up to now. And also you don't have to know what each day is, just what the topic is that you're following. Like I didn't know what I was going to say each day of my wedding series. I just knew that each day I was going to give an update on what actually happened. And there were some days where I didn't have anything exciting, or I didn't think that I had anything exciting. And then I would ramble into ChatGPT, like I showed you, and I would find a story to share. Even if it was just like, okay, we're in a lull, like we haven't had any ticket sales for a while and I'm totally going crazy. Like, is this working? Is this not? And, you're just honestly sharing the dream. Okay, let me just show you a quick example. So I'll use my phone because I want to be able to talk into ChatGPT again. But the way that I did this in the past is, I can even show you. I have this whole ChatGPT conversation of all of my wedding series videos. I would just talk into it and I would be like, hey, today I had a call with someone that asked to sponsor the wedding. They're going to provide free ice cream at the wedding. Oh my gosh, the ice cream is smoked salted caramel. Did you even know that you could smoke ice cream? Let's write a script about that, of how, like, first we got this cake cutting fee for $650. And then we thought, well, screw that, we're not having cake. And then how amazing that we got a sponsor that's providing ice cream. Well, and then also that it's smoked ice cream. Like, what a treat. And then that became one of the videos. And what's so cool about that is for the audience on the outside looking in, they're like, oh, look at this person who's like doing big things in their life. Look at this realtor who's like going after something, who's ambitious and like that's the kind of person that I would want to work with. It's going to be good push-pull. I mean, there might be some people that don't, but like they're not your audience anyway. Don't water down your message for someone that isn't. Like, you doing that content is what is going to create visibility. And even for people that might not be your client, they know people that would. oh, I'm thinking about buying a house. Have you seen that guy? That guy that he's doing this series of how he's selling 100 homes? Maybe you should buy your home with him. Oh, I haven't heard of him. Well, look at his content. Oh, he's really, I like his videos. He's funny. Well, sometimes buying a house can be stressful. So if I'm going to buy a house with someone, I want to enjoy the person, spending time with this person that's going to help me along the way. Look at all the peripheral benefits, you guys. When I was in the content series, we went on vacation. And I filmed some of the videos in advance, so some videos went out. But we were also at Disneyland with the kids, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a few days off. And also, you don't have to commit to like every single day. Later in the series, I ended up posting them less frequently because I was getting really busy with the wedding. But I was sharing other updates. Like I was still posting content, so it was just in a different way. It was like the first time that I took a break, and I had people in my DMs saying, "Where are you? Where's the daily update? I want to see what adventures are happening." So it was really cool that even people that I didn't know were watching were on the edge of their seats and noticed when I didn't post. Imagine having that kind of engagement with your audience that they notice when you're gone. That means that they notice you enough to refer to you or to want to work with you. I was going to do a live demo of this. Maybe I do, let me just do one. So the wedding's over. Maybe I do an update. Hey, let's do a final update. I think it's day 30 of selling tickets to my wedding, just to say the finale of like the wedding is over. We've been married for a month now by the time I post this video. And it was insane. We had viral attention all across the globe. Like we were in People magazine. We were on NBC, CBS. We were on the morning show in Australia and Italy and Dubai, and just like crazy how far this wedding reached. And I just gotta say thank you to everyone who was a part of watching these videos, that you kept coming back every day, that you were interested, that you shared these videos, that this whole idea for this crazy, selling tickets to your wedding idea came from posting on social media. Like as much as it was like, this was something that I feel like we really built with a community. And then as a result, like we are able to make an impact on the other side of the world in Kenya and help them build schools in their community. Like I'm just so touched by that, and so grateful to everyone that attended, everyone that supported online in the comments and shared the story, and also were warriors in the crazy chats, in the media posts that were with inaccurate headlines. Appreciate you guys too. Even though the clickbait headlines don't bother me, I totally get it. That's what gets comments and engagement. And then let's leave like a funny cliffhanger at the end at the wedding. Like people were already like, all right, when's the next one? Are you gonna have a honeymoon mastermind that you'll sell tickets to? Are you gonna do an anniversary festival? What's next? And then let's leave a cheeky comment that's like open-ended, like, will I? Would we? This whole thing started as a joke, so maybe we'll do it. Just kidding. Or am I? Like something that just leaves curiosity at the end. So see how I don't even know exactly what I want. I'm just like, let's do something that's going to create a cliffhanger at the end. Let's leave something funny. And ChatGPT will help me come up with it. I just kind of gave it the idea of the direction we want to go. And then of course I'll edit it from there. So let's see what it came up with. It's thinking. Now it's starting to write. Okay, here's what it says. Day 30 of selling tickets to my wedding. Here we are, the finale. The wedding happened. It was insane. And by the time you're watching this, Steve and I have been married for a month. We had viral attention across the globe. People magazine, NBC, CBS, The Morning Show, Australia, Italy, Dubai. Like, how did this little Idaho wedding end up everywhere? I don't know. I'm still screaming. And honestly, thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up, everyone who bought a ticket, everyone who watched these videos, came back every day, shared the story, and even duked it out in the comment sections when the headlines were a little, let's just say, creative. I see you, I appreciate you, because what started as a half-joke Facebook post turned into a real wedding, a global conversation, and most importantly, impact. We raised $132,550 to help build schools with village impact in Kenya and counting. It's still raising money. That's classrooms, that's futures, that's legacy. So the wedding was everything we dreamed of, and then some, and I'll never get over it. Now, the next question everyone keeps asking, what's next? Are you doing a honeymoon mastermind, an anniversary festival, a vow renewal with tickets? To which I say, this whole thing started as a joke. So maybe. Just kidding. Or am I? Stay tuned. I love it. I'll probably film that later and make that day 30. Now here's the next question I hear all the time. Marley, how do I come up with content every day without running out of ideas? That's a great question. The answer is you don't. What? Are you going to answer that question? Or how do we do that then? You come up with one disruptive idea and then you spin it into a flywheel of content that multiplies itself. Okay, can I show you? Would that be okay? So let's start with one disruptive idea, which we've been talking about this whole time. So let's just go with that. AI isn't replacing you. Beige thinking is. Now watch how this one idea can become 5 totally different posts. Okay, the story version. When I first started using AI, I thought it was going to do the work for me. That was my mistake. AI didn't make me better until I stopped thinking beige. That's when everything changed. Okay, so see how telling it in a story format, which I would just go to ChatGPT. Okay, here's the idea. Please write this into a story. The story makes them relate and see themselves in it. Okay, the next version, the rant version. People love rants. I mean, the rant was how the whole wedding thing started with the $650 cake cutting fee. I ranted about it. If your content could be written by ChatGPT, you are replaceable, period. Harsh but true. Ranting makes people lean in or also argue with you or against you, blows up the comments. Either way, you win attention. The meme version. These are always funny and shareable, okay? So maybe you have a picture of the beige robot typing at a laptop. And you have the caption that says, when you realize your LinkedIn post sounds like everyone else. Have you noticed memes travel very fast? Okay. The analogy version. Analogy versions are always sticky and memorable. Like the one I said earlier about like AI is like clay. You have to shape it. I was like, that is a really good analogy. Putting that in my mental bank. Love that. AI is like electricity. Everyone has access to it. But electricity by itself doesn't make you stand out. What matters is that you build with power. Analogies really, they make your ideas unforgettable. And people will repeat those lines like they are your own at dinner tables. The CTA version. Hey, want me to hand you the exact prompts I use to make AI content binge-worthy? Drop prompts in the comments and I'll send them to you. These 2-step posts are insane. So see how that works. That like one disruptive idea just spun into 5 unique content pieces. Each one reaches a different kind of audience. Some people love stories. Some people love the spice of a rant. Some people will only ever share memes. Some people need the analogy to just like get it. And some people only move when you actually give them a clear CTA. So this is how you stop reinventing the wheel and start building a flywheel that just keeps building on itself. Here's some other ways to never run out of content ideas. I already shared with you the talking walks, right? We turn on AI, we go for a walk, just like ramble into it, give it a formula, and like make a post from that. You saw me post that one live. I want to see what the engagement is after when we leave. You can even take transcriptions of your coaching calls or sales calls or just transcriptions of you just rambling. Put that into AI. One of my favorite things to do is like, here's a transcript, and then say, give me 10 mic drop quotes that I said from this. I do that and I'm like, I said that? Dang, I'm a genius. And then that can spiral off into like, okay, take this mic drop quote that I said, write that into an email. The call to action is going to be for them to come to my event next month. Cool. You can also take posts. I love this. Take posts that you like from other people. You can put that into ChatGPT and say, can you audit or can you assess this? And what prompt would I have to give you to write a post similar to this voice, to this style, to this topic? And then you just get to add that to your AI vault, that can be something that you use again in the future. If this training opened your eyes, here's how you can shortcut everything that we just covered and you don't need to spend weeks building funnels or automations or workflows from scratch. I actually did all of that for you. I'm gonna give you access to funnel stacks where you're gonna get one-click access to the highest converting funnels from the last 11 years. These are plug and play. These have been battle tested and ready for you to customize in minutes. And you can pair them with the strategies that you just learned. And with that, you'll have a content and funnel system that can print clients. The link is right now below this video. Go grab funnel stacks and I'll see you inside.